Hi guys, I'm Sylvia, and I am 22 years old. I'm going to tell you an unbelievable story about how I got on my boyfriend's Instagram and what I found there. I met Bill back in college, and I immediately liked him. Handsome, smart, funny. I was the initiator of all our dates. I hinted to him that I wanted a relationship, so we started dating, then rented a house together. I was so happy to be living with the person whom I loved and who loved me. At first, our relationship was perfect, but as time wore on, something changed. Sometimes Bill retreated into himself. He became callous and aggressive. He would sit all evening buried in his smartphone. When I tried to cheer him up or distract him, Bill was angry, shouting that I was keeping him from resting. But on other days, everything was just fine. We talked a lot, laughed, watched movies together, and went on vacations. I could not understand what these sudden mood changes were all about, but I tolerated them. Bill's birthday was approaching, and I began to plan a party. I wanted to invite all his friends, cook a lot of delicious food, organize games and dances. But Bill, it seemed, didn't care. He simply nodded to any of my questions without taking his eyes off the smartphone. I exploded. I don't know what came over me. I snatched the smartphone from Bill and threw it against the wall. Oh, what a fight we had after that. Bill grabbed his broken phone and his jacket and ran out of the house, and I sat on the couch and cried. I was so bitter and offended. By the evening, I had calmed down and regretted my outburst. As always, I came up with a million excuses for Bill, and on his birthday, I gave him a new phone. The old one was still working, but his screen was cracked and the phone looked just awful. Bill was so happy about the gift that I felt like a fairy godmother. How nice it is to give people joy. The next week, everything was wonderful. But then Bill became indifferent to me. Again, completely switching his focus to his smartphone. I decided that it was time to deal with this situation. Yes, I know. I wouldn't call what I did ethical, but put yourself in my shoes. My significant other had been acting very strangely for several months and didn't respond to questions. I was afraid for him. Basically, I found his old phone in the closet and turned it on. Apparently, Bill had removed all the screen locks from it, probably because the broken screen was malfunctioning. The first thing I saw on the screen was Instagram. I logged into Bill's account and almost dropped the phone from what I saw. It turned out that my boyfriend had been flirting with 2 girls for several months, and even dating one. I recognized her. She worked as a cashier in the movie theater. We often bought tickets from her. My first desire was to tell Bill everything I thought about him and to end the relationship. But then I became curious. To how low a level could one man stoop? So, this meant that I was the convenient girl, but then he found these chicks for feelings? Or how does it work? Why was he staying with me, but flirting with others? For a whole month, I watched Bill, and when he was not at home, I read all of his messages. He would first kiss me, hug me, and tell me he loved me very much. Then he would write to those girls that I was boring, stupid, and indifferent. He confessed his love to each of them and only said nasty things about me. Unbelievable two-facedness. Finally, my patience had run out. After Bill had just written another love message, I grabbed his brand new phone and threw it to the floor. Then I offered him the old one. Here you go, dear. I think you will find a lot of interesting things on here. Like I did. Bill was in shock. You should have seen how he blushed without even saying a word in his own defense. It was so nice. I packed up my things and left. Of course, he apologized. He gave me flowers, swore that this would never happen again. But I had already seen this man's true colors. We broke up forever, and I do not regret anything. Have you ever checked your lover's phone? What did you find? And what did you do in that situation?